Hello students. So in today's video, we are going to be studying the unit 1 of interchange level book 1 that we study in our class. Okay, so let us get started. So in this book, the unit's name is Please Call Me Beth. Okay, so first we'll get started with the conversation which we have over here. But before we get started, I want you to look at the picture and make your guess of what is happening in this picture. First thing, I want you to write it down in your notebook. And then after that, I want you to guess their age group. Okay, and I want you to write it in your notebook as well. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to read this conversation on your own. Take 10 to 15 seconds and read the conversation. Okay, I am guessing that you are done with your reading. Now what we are going to do is we are going to listen to the audio to understand the pronunciations. Okay, let us listen to it. Okay, now I'm sure you must have gauged the correct pronunciations. Now, now of course, they are introducing themselves as they are new students. They don't know each other, so they are introducing themselves in the first part. Okay, they are looking at each other and they are introducing. So he says, I'm David Gaza, I'm a new club member. And she says, my name is Elizabeth Silva, but please call me Beth. Okay, so that's her nickname, Beth. Then they ask general information about each other. In the second conversation, in the second part of the conversation, we can see that they are talking about the third person, that's Sunhee. Then he asks question about Sunhee, right? So what do we see in this conversation? That whenever there is a conversation, there are three people involved. First person, second person, and third person. First person is the speaker, the one who is speaking. So here David starts the conversation, so he is the speaker. And that time we have the second person, that is Beth. She's the listener. Okay. So this role keeps changing as you have a conversation. And third person is the person that we're talking about, or the thing that we are talking about. In this example, it's Sunhee. It's a singular person. Now, third person can be singular or plural. For singular, we can either use the person's name or we can use he, she, it. Okay. And for plural, we use they. Okay. Now, try to remember what are the two women's names in this conversation. Okay, now we are going to do some speaking practice. Now, just like you saw, the way they asked questions and the way they responded, you have to try matching the correct answers. The first question is, I'm sorry, what's your name again? What should be your answer? It is Elizabeth Silva. What do people call you? Everyone calls me Beth. How do you spell your last name? Silva. And that is how we can give our information as well. And if we don't remember any information, we can say, I'm sorry, what is your name again? And if you don't know the spelling of someone's name, we can ask, how do you spell your last name? So you can spell it out for that person after that. Now try introducing yourself to your friends and your batchmates. We will go to the next part. Here we have the second conversation. What is soul like? It is soul. Okay. Now we are going to listen to the conversation directly. Now here, of course, Sunhee is being introduced to David by our Beth, right? So let us see how they talk. 1 minute. Okay, so here they're introducing themselves. So Beth takes the name of Sunny so that David knows, and then she says, Sunny, this is David Garza. He's a new club member, so she's introducing him. Then they say, nice to meet you. When do we say nice to meet you? When you meet someone for the first time. Okay. And then she's introducing herself with her full name. I'm Sunhee Park. He says, hi, so you're from South Korea. Now, why he's asking this? Because he already learned that information from Beth, right? And she says, that's right. I'm from Seoul. So she's taking the name of the city. Seoul is in South Korea. It's the name of the place, okay? It's the name of the capital of South Korea. And she says that he says that's cool. What is Seoul like? Now, this is a very odd question. Okay, we don't generally use this question. What is Seoul like means we are asking how that place is or what how that thing is. Okay, so it's the way to ask what is dash dash like. That means we are asking the behavior or the nature of the thing or the person. And she says it's really nice. It's a very exciting city. Okay, and as you can see in the picture, they're shaking hands, right? That's what you do when you meet someone for the first time. We are going to learn that again in the chapter. Okay, now let us listen to the rest of the conversation and we will see what city is David from and what is it like. Okay, did you get the answers to both the questions? Okay, I'm sure you got it. Let's move to the next part. What is soul like? She answers, it is a well, it is a it is really nice. It is a very exciting city. Okay. Now we are going to see a small video here where we are going to learn on how to introduce ourselves. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I'm really sorry. Yes. So in this part, we are going to be looking at how to introduce ourselves. Okay. Let me just, okay, let me just rewind it a bit. Okay, so what do we understand from this? That whenever you are introducing someone, the first thing that we have to take care is that we give some information to the person who is being introduced to. Okay. So as we could see in the previous conversation, when Beth introduced David to Sunhee, she gave some information, right? That he is a new club member from Mexico. So she has enough information, and he has enough information about David, right? That's not what we need to take care of. And second thing, if you are the member who is walking into a group, say a room full of people, you will be greeting the people over there. Okay. Do not expect people to get up and greet you first. That is how it should be. Second thing, if you are introducing someone to a higher rank, say you're introducing your friend to your boss, then you will first introduce your boss and then you will introduce your friend or your colleague. Remember that. Okay. Next, we have pronunciations. Here we are going to be looking at linked sounds. Now, what are linked sounds? Most of the times when the words end with consonant sounds, the sound of vowels usually get linked with them. Okay. Example, I am a new club member. So the word is ending with a consonant, and then we have a vowel following it. So I will say, I am a new club member. Sunhee is over there. My name is Elizabeth Silva. That is how I will be introducing. Okay, next. Now, when you study on your own, do listen to the audio and practice. Okay, let's move to the next part. Here we have a grammar topic, statements with P, and then we have possessive adjectives. Now, what do we mean when we say statements with P? First, we are going to look at what are statements. Statements are the sentences that we make. Okay. So we have three types of statements: positive statement, negative statement, and interrogative statement. Positive statement is a normal statement. Whenever we make a statement, we have a subject, then we have a verb, and then we have an object. What is a statement? Subject is what is the subject? The subject is the main thing that we are talking about in a sentence. Okay. Example, Here we're talking about Sunhi. So Sunhi is over there. Sunhi is the subject. Verb is the action word or our auxiliary verb. And then object. Object is the part which gives us more information about the sentence. Negative statements, whenever we use not, it becomes a negative statement. For example, Sunhi is not over there. Okay. And interrogative are when we ask questions. So when we ask questions, we have two types of statements, WH questions and yes and no questions. WH questions are open-ended questions where the answer expected is explanatory. For example, if I ask you, what is your name? You will say, my name is Elizabeth Silva. Example, right? So you are giving me an explanatory answer. Where are you from? I am from Pune. But if I ask you, are you from Pune? What will you say? You will either say yes or no. So that's your close-ended question where you call it also yes and no questions, where you will we are expecting the answer as yes or no. Now, first person, second person, third person, I already explained to you guys. So same thing is written. Now, what I would expect you to is write down whatever is written on the screen. Okay, write it down quickly. Okay, now I'm expecting you have written everything. Let's move to the next part. Now we have something called statements with be. Now, what do we mean when we say be? Be is the auxiliary verb that we are using here. We change it into is, am, are, and we use it. Okay. So in our first person singular, we will with I, we will use am, and with we will use are. With you, we always use are. And with he, she, it, we will use is, or we can also use name of person and we'll use is. And with they or the name of two or more people, we will use are. Okay, that's what we need to remember here. It is also called subject verb agreement. So this is the table you need to remember. Again, write it down in your note. Okay. Next, this is the sentence structure that we have, which we need to follow every time. Let's move to the next part. We also have something called possessive adjectives. Now, if you remember, when we studied parts of speech, we also looked at what are adjectives. Adjectives are the words which give us more information about nouns and pronouns. And what are possessives? Possessives are when we talk about possession or ownership of something. Okay, so we use the words like my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. These are all possessive adjectives. So I can say, my name is Beth and she is my friend. Okay, they always come before the noun and after the helping verbs. And we use them to replace the possessive nouns. Possessive nouns are apostrophe S. When we use apostrophe S, those are possessive nouns. For example, Susmita's glasses, right? That's how we use them. So I can say Tom is Amy's friend, and I can also say Tom is her friend. Okay. Next, we have an exercise. Take 5 to 10 seconds and do this exercise. You have to use either am, is, are, or you have to use possessive adjectives. It's very easy. Do it. Next, we have WH questions with be. Now, we already looked at what are WH questions. Those are explanatory questions. So we use words like where, who, what, and how to start our WH questions. Okay. These are the WH question words. That's what we call them. So with singular, if I'm asking about a singular thing, I will use is. And if I'm asking about plural things, then I will use are. Same subject verb agreement. We just need to remember the sentence structure. We start the sentence with WH question word. Then we have am, is, are. Then we have the subject, which we will be agreeing to. And then we have an object and the question. Where is your friend and where are you and Louisa from? Okay, try doing this exercise again. Okay, now we are going to be looking at something called greetings from around the world. So you might know as we move around the world, there are various types of greetings. For example, in India, we do namaste. But if we go to foreign country, we do a handshake, we bow, we give a hug, we give a pat at the back, we do a fist bump, or we give a kiss on the cheek. So you should know in these which countries these things are followed. So you know how to greet someone when you go there if in future you get an opportunity, or if any foreign delegates come to your organization, you should know how to greet them as well. Okay, so try finding out where these greetings are used. You will also find the answers in your notes, but try researching on your own before that. Okay, now we are going to be looking at something which we commonly do, that is a handshake. We do it when we meet someone for the first time. So we are going to see what are the etiquettes that we are supposed to follow when we shake our hands with someone. Okay. Okay, so these are the common etiquettes that we're supposed to follow. Do watch this whole video. You'll find the link to it in the notes. Okay. Now let us move to the next part. Now, some etiquettes that you're supposed to remember when you're following handshake. We already went through it. I hope it was explanatory. Now, one thing that you have to remember is if you are a female, then you need to remember that whenever you're meeting someone, a female is supposed to be initiating the handshake, especially in our Indian culture. Okay, because we consider, male to female touch as something that should not be there. So we have to make sure that as females, we initiate the handshake. Okay, because the males would not initiate the handshake if you are at the same position of if you're meeting at someone at your same level. But if you are meeting someone who is on a higher position than you, and if he's a male, that that time he can initiate the handshake. But if you're at the same position, or if you are a senior person, then you are supposed to initiate the handshake. Again, that is the etiquette. Okay, remember that. Okay, let us move to the next part. The next conversation that we have, that is, how is it going? Okay, so we already know Sunny and David met before. So now they are meeting again and they are discussing about how the class are going. So I want you to read this conversation. Okay, now that you have read the conversation, what I want you to do whenever you study on your own, I want you to listen to the conversation. Okay, and try to see what were the errors in pronunciations that you were doing. Next, are David and Beth in the same class? No, they are not. Okay, and you'll get the right information here. Now we have something called yes and no question here. We are going to see how to make yes and no questions. So yes and no questions are the questions that expect the answer yes, I am, or no, I am not. So we start with our helping verb is, am, are, then we have the subject, and then we have the verb, and then the question mark. That is our is, am, are questions. And then the answer could be yes, I am, or no, I am not. The subject and then the object part. Okay. So examples, are you free? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Is David from Mexico? Yes, he is, or no, he is not. Next, you have the exercise. I want you to do this exercise first, where you use the same, and you have to use the full sentences here. So do not get confused. So whenever you give wrong information or your answer is no, then you will give the right information. Is English class at 10? No, it is not. It is at 11. So you'll give the right information. There's a full stop here. Do focus on that. And here you have to answer in whole sentences. And if the answer is no, then you have to give correct information about yourself. And then your exercise is to write 5 questions about your classmates. Okay. Next, we have hello and goodbye. These are the very basic greetings which we have. So I want you to do this, put them into the correct. Hello are for greeting someone at the start, and goodbye are when you see off. Okay, and then try connecting these with correct responses. Next, we have a listening practice. We are going to listen to a conversation, and you have to put their first name, last name, and where they are from into the correct category. Let's listen to it. Okay, I hope you got all the information. Okay, you'll get the answers to these questions in the notes again. Okay, let's go to the next part that we have. Here we have one video. I want you guys to watch these videos on your own for homework. Okay, I won't play it in the class. Now we have a reading task as well. This is just, for some practice. I want you to read this article and then try answering these questions. Again, it's for homework. And then we have more videos where we have work on the pronunciations. You can work on these videos for now, and I'll be coming up with some videos for working on accent on my YouTube channel as well. So you can go through them. Okay. And I will see you in the next class. Thank you. Bye.